You can also set your camera for particular metering types. Sometimes that's done with a little button that you see that will have a spot in the middle of it. You'll see that symbol in a minute. Most of the time, however, it's done on a menu that's on the preview monitor. The most common metering types are average, center weighted, weighted matrix, and spot metering. When you choose average, the camera will simply average all the light that it sees coming through the lens to what should be the exposure for a 50% gray level, in other words, half brightness, and expose for that. That's the simplest way to point and shoot. If you're in center weighted mode, you will see this little symbol with parentheses on either side of a spot, which means it's sort of spot metering, but it's also taking into account the readings that it's getting from the rest of the image. This is a good thing to do if you've got a subject that you especially want to get, but you also want to take the surrounding objects into account. One of the most sophisticated metering modes is matrix metering, and matrix metering measures primarily the center of the picture, but it also measures several other segments of the picture. That's why these are divided up this way in the symbol, although some matrix metering systems have as many as 16 different little areas that it weights, and it takes each one of these into account in balancing the overall exposure. It's a very sophisticated way of doing things, but it can be very useful when you're shooting on the run and you don't have time for spot metering. Which brings up spot metering, because in this particular image it was important to get detail in this little McDonald's cup over here because it contributes so much to the overall atmosphere of the picture that we just wanted to take a reading on that little tiny segment of the picture and then adjust the rest of the picture accordingly. And you can do that by aiming the center of the camera right at that spot, and the little symbol that's in the center of your viewfinder is the only area of the image that gets read when you're in spot metering mode. Then of course you can press the shutter button halfway and move the camera to frame the image the way you want, as I showed you a few minutes ago. So those are all the commonplace metering modes that you will find on a digital camera.